Greetings and welcome to ParaNerd Talk. We are Capture Paranormal. We want to thank you whether you're watching on youtube.com/Capture Paranormal or on the Capture Paranormal podcast. Thanks for being with us and joining us. On today's episode, as voted on by our friends at facebook.com/Capture Paranormal, we are going to be talking about paranormal TV shows and movies. So, little write-up here for you guys. Television programs relating to the paranormal began as early as the 1960s when programs featured ghost stories and shows such as One Step Beyond, followed 15 years later by In Search Of in 1976. It wasn't until a UK program titled Ghost Watch that aired in 1992 about a fictional haunted house that was portrayed as a real life to viewers created much controversy. In later years, networks took different takes on paranormal TV until the subgenre really became popularized with Ghost Hunters, which featured real-life paranormal investigators in search of the paranormal. This boom in popularity saw the creation of many other shows such as Ghost Adventures, Paranormal State, Most Haunted, and Paranormal Lockdown, just to name a few. It became highly debated whether these shows created false evidence and drama to help gather ratings or if they were actually legitimate. So, I know for myself, personally, I did have a paranormal encounter when I was a kid, which kind of started me into the paranormal. But it wasn't until, I'll admit it, Ghost Adventures came on television that I just thought, man, I want to do this. This is awesome. I want to go out there and find all this evidence for myself. How did you guys? Are you into the paranormal shows at all, or did they have any influence on you?
Well, for me, what got me into doing this was I was a weird kid. Still am weird. My aunt she attended Alma College in St. Thomas. So she kind of got me into it, telling me ghost stories about the girl in the tower, and I'd go to Alma College and visit her, and she'd take me up to the tower, and I thought it was really fascinating. And then I kind of went from there into the cryptids, the UFOs, the Bigfoot. Once I got a computer, once the computer came in, then my God, that's all I did was just look at ghosts and all the weird stuff. And what really I lived in, first paranormal experience was I lived in a house when I was living with my parents. I think I was like 13, 14. And I've told this story numerous times. Dad worked afternoons, Mom and I were home alone. 12 o'clock in the morning, I heard the front door open, and I had the landing on the inside door. It made a distinct sound, open, shut, close, whatever. I heard footsteps coming in the house. I go downstairs. Hi, Dad. Thinking it's my dad coming home from work. Nobody there. Ran back up to my room, hid under the blankets, and scared out of my mind. It wasn't until I went on a trip with my family in Florida. I think it was 2006-07 when Ghost Hunters first started. I can't remember when they first aired, but it was their first season, and of course we had American TV down there, and we had the Sci-Fi channel. I was like, "What's this Ghost Hunters?" Flipped it on, instantly hooked. Like, this is the coolest thing ever. That guys go out to houses and investigate for ghosts. The 2 weeks that were there, I watched 2 episodes, and I think I watched every season until they stopped. And then it got me into with teams and this and that, and kind of here I am. And then I've watched Ghost Adventures, Paranormal State, Ghost Brothers, you name it. I've seen probably every show that's been on. They're all stupid. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They're dumb. Like Ghost Hunters, when you look back now, is the most boring show ever. They don't find anything, if anything. Maybe 1 or 2 EVPs here and there. But those first couple seasons when it was just residential, private residence, and it's like, that was so cool. And that had me instantly hooked. And then you go, when they did the live Halloween things, amazing. Like they were at Fort Mifflin or wherever they were. And then they went to, Trans-Allegheny, Ghost Adventures did that. And it was unlike anything I've ever seen. And it's that kind of propelled me into wanting to be a paranormal investigator.
How about you, Mike?
Pretty much the same way as Kevin got into it. I had my experiences when I was young and when I was in my 20s. And then I started watching the shows just like Kevin did. And I started watching Ghost Hunters. That was the first one. And then Paranormal State, which I really enjoyed. And then Ghost Adventures. And I still watch Ghost Adventures. It's entertaining, but it's silly. Especially now.
It seems to me with these shows, it's like the more
Over the
popular
top.
they got, the more extreme they got
Yep.
with evidence and things like that.
Ghost Adventures is really silly. Like, it's really dumb. But it's entertaining. And that's what it's for. It's for entertainment. They're on TV. They're about ratings and making money. And that's what they do. And that's fine. Like, you can't take anything as hard evidence or credible evidence, if you want to say that. Just sit back and enjoy. And when you mentioned that Ghost Watch from 1992,
Right.
highly recommend you check it out on YouTube.
I actually just watched that maybe last
It
year.
is
I found out about it.
so
and I watched
well done.
It was really
It's
interesting.
amazingly well done.
I can only imagine for
1992.
I can only imagine for 1992 the amount, like the kind of stuff that they were putting on that, because it was only a one night thing.
It was like it was a Halloween special.
Yeah, like a news program type thing, and
It's done kind of like Most Haunted, because it's a British program, and it's got the medium, it's got the investigators, it's got the cameras all set up in the house,
the family.
and the family. It's all fake. Like, I didn't know that either. I didn't know it was fake until years later. But if you watch it, I highly recommend to watch it. How well they did it in '92. Like, you could almost put it to War of the Worlds back in the day when the announcement the aliens are invading. Like, it was so convincing, and it was so well done. I'm sure if
They recreated that with an American show, except it was for, I can't remember the name of it. It was for UFOs. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was the same type of deal where it was portrayed as being a real event, and these family it was found footage where they found the son had been video recording this birthday, and it turned into there's things outside and there's lights, and he's hiding in the bathroom and doing kind of like a final goodbye or whatever, because these aliens are getting into the house or whatever, and it was portrayed as a real show. And I remember seeing it as a kid, and I was like, holy crap, that was real. But then you find it later, like, oh no, it wasn't real.
What about you, Nikki?
Me personally, because I didn't have many options to watch cable, so I grew up watching Scooby-Doo. So that was my first encounter with ghost hunting.
That's the best ghost hunting.
The
Exactly.
cats actually get things. Get
And,
things done.
and
all
unsolved
the
mysteries too.
They're like the original ghost paranormal investigators, because they always debunk everything.
Yeah.
They always find the guy behind the curtain with the light shining on him. Like,
Yes,
I grew up watching the best of the best.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries is
watched
another-
that. I was
Oh, I love
disappointed
Unsolved
when
Mysteries.
there wasn't Bigfoot or ghosts or something on the episodes. Like,
there was an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. They're talking about a bar that was haunted, and I remember when I was a kid watching it, and the guy goes into the bathroom and he's washing his hands, and he looks up and there's a cowboy standing behind him, like a spirit. That freaked me right out for so long.
But yeah, and then I loved Paranormal State. That one I really liked to watch, and then I got into Ghost Hunters, and then really honestly I watched a few episodes of Ghost Adventures, and then I have no idea any of the other shows you guys are talking about. I have not watched anything since. Again, don't have cable, but I find it gets, even just watching the few more seasons as they kind of continue on, when you go from season 1 to like season 4 or whatever, it just gets more and more, like you said, extreme. And it's just, before they didn't catch something on every episode, now they always catch something, and it's always like 1 or 2, 3 things, like every
Zach
place
always
is
gets
haunted.
possessed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Well,
I'm not gonna mention any, but yeah, it gets a little extreme. So I just get
it's
out
the
of it.
first 5 minutes this show's airing. Like, they're doing EVPs in the middle of the day. It's like, dude, listen to this. Like, it's like,
Yeah,
no,
during the
that's
walk around.
not how
Yeah, exactly.
That's not how it works. No, that's not. No, I've never been able to do anything like that. And that's, again, back to what we were talking about earlier. Like that. It's like, oh my God, it said my name. And it's like, no, it didn't.
And we've had guests investigate with us that have watched the shows, and then they go home terribly disappointed because it's nothing like what they see
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you guys didn't find anything? No. Oh. Like, that's the problem with paranormal TV.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I think. Like even when we do our public investigations or invite guests out, you know, I'm thinking that they're gonna believe it's like the TV show where we're gonna be all screaming and running down, dude, bro, did you see that?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And then they actually come out with us, and it's kind of like it's fun, it's a good time, and you know, you could possibly get some evidence, but it's not as crazy as the shows would portray it to be.
Well, I remember when Ghost Hunters started. Never said that it was factual, that it was real, but as Ghost Hunters got big, and then Paranormal State kind of rolled along and got big, and then Ghost Adventures got huge, then the disclaimers came in before every episode. This show is intended for entertainment purposes only. The evidence portrayed may or may not be what is actually going on, and
well, that's what I find too. You watch those shows, and at the end you see all the camera people, the writers, the directors. It's like, okay, well, you know.
That's how I got into it too, was by watching Ghost Hunters.
Right.
That's when I realized that, oh my God, the average Joe can go out, like before I'd watched like Most Haunted, and they were professionals, quote, professionals that would go out, and that's the world that I thought was that in order to ghost hunt you had to be a paranormal psychologist or something. And then Ghost Hunters comes around, and I watched the first season. The first season's phenomenal. It's boring as hell because nothing happens. Because it's real.
Yeah.
Like I think in the first season, there was one piece of evidence that they thought was questionable, and then from that point on, it started becoming more and more and more, and then they started going to all these, rather than investigating the private homes, they started going out and investigating these inns and these vineyards and historical locations where you pay to go to be in a public investigation or whatever. So it became an advertisement show. Destination Truth was another fun one.
I like that show just because of the host, because Josh Gates is
Josh
hilarious.
Gates, and he's got my job. He's a professional adventurer.
Absolutely.
That's something I've always wanted to be. And with Destination Truth, it was always he always did it very interesting. Where one episode might be about a ghost, but then the next episode's about Bigfoot, or the Ogopogo, or some cryptid or UFOs or whatever. So it was always different. It was always a variety. I kind of felt that Destination Truth was sometimes a little bit more genuine than some of these others, because like he would go and he would investigate Ogopogo, and turn up nothing.
Yeah.
And he would go and investigate all these others, like a werewolf or whatever. And some people were just like, he would out these, like, this villager says that he's a werewolf, and we're going to go interview him, and the guy is just absolutely insane. And so he would out these people, but then it was the ones where he would investigate a ghost that would be interesting, or the Bigfoot ones. Bigfoot. He never found Bigfoot in North America.
Has anybody found Bigfoot though?
Was that?
Has anybody found Bigfoot though?
They did find some pretty good.
They found
Yeti
some
evidence.
very compelling evidence of Yeti in the Himalayas. So yeah, there's that. But like I said, the first season of Ghost Hunters, if you're an aspiring ghost hunter, watch it, because it's more realistic to what it's like, because it's boring as hell.
Yeah.
It's sitting in the dark, talking to the walls, and nothing happening.
Right.
The later seasons...
That's like Ghost Adventures. They originally had done a documentary.
Yeah.
And they caught a spirit, whatever, following one of them out of a room.
Yeah.
And that's what sparked their interest in getting them a television show.
Yeah.
Because they caught this on camera.
Yeah.
So it seems like all these shows start out genuine.
Yeah.
The best
And
of
then-
intentions.
Yeah, best of intentions, and then it kind of turns, like you said, you get money put behind you. You get people who are relying on you doing these episodes, and you need this many ratings. There's a quota. So
Yeah.
it's like, what else are you going to do? You got to start,
Yeah.
falsifying evidence.
Exactly, and I think it's also kind of done with good intentions. Like look at Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventurers has brought pretty much all of us into ghost hunting.
Yeah.
And you could talk with just about any ghost hunter and ask them, why are you into this? And their answer would probably be, because I watched Ghost Hunters or I watched Ghost Adventures and realized.
Unless they lie.
Unless they lie. Or I watched Scooby-Doo.
Well, you can thank, I think, Ghost Hunters Most Haunted and Ghost Adventures for putting it in the main spotlight.
Yeah.
Like, you would never talk to people about what we do
Yeah, exactly.
15 years ago.
Exactly.
Or be like, that guy's weird.
Yeah.
Like, goes hunts ghosts, that's weird. Like, like, I remember when I worked at Ford, when I got on to the team that I was with previous, like, once they found out what I did for my hobby, like, it's like, oh, I got stories for you. We
Yeah.
can, like, and we'd sit at lunchtime and they'd tell me their ghost stories when they were kids, and I never heard stuff like that growing up. You just didn't talk about stuff like that. And like now, like my mom, like she's still interested. She still asks me what we're doing and where we're going, and because I know at that house that I grew up, that one of the houses that we lived in, I wasn't the only one that had stuff happen to them, but Mom never talked about it. But when I started telling her stuff like this, she's like, "Oh, that's interesting." Like I know there's no way that I was the only one that experienced anything in that house, or myself or Lorraine. Like it just there's no way, because Mom was in there just as much as I was, sometimes more, because I had to go to school and she would stay home. Like she'd be at home, and my brother was gone to university. But there's no way that she didn't hear or see something going on in that house.
Well, it's like the house I grew up in that we've investigated also, that it was always hopping. And I had numerous experiences from my childhood of stuff going on. My parents would never talk about it until after I got into this. And then my mom would start talking about the things that she saw when I was a kid and the things that they're currently seeing. And
But I think you can just put that on just a parent's intuition, right? You don't want to scare the crap out of your kids.
crap out of your
Yeah,
kids,
it's like, oh my God, did you see what happened last night? No. Yeah, like
So we've talked about that kind of links to television shows, paranormal shows, helping the paranormal world by bringing people together, making it more acceptable to talk about, things like that. But how do you think it might have negatively affected what we do?
I would say, like we said in the last podcast, talking about the legend trippers,
Right.
where you get the people that, the clients that want to be on those shows, and they'll tell you anything in order to be on your show, essentially.
Right.
And I think a lot of them probably have it in their head that maybe if I tell them enough, we're going to get Jay Hawes and Grant Wilson to come and investigate my house, and we're going to be on national TV. So I can see as kind of being the detrimental to it.
well, how many cases did we have that was when we were with the other team that was involved with taps?
Yeah,
When they found out that we were coming, they canceled.
yeah,
Like, oh, Jason and Grant aren't going to be there? Forget it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not haunted all of a sudden. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happened numerous times.
Yeah, a lot of times. And that's frustrating.
And, to be honest, that's how I got on the team. Was I contacted, like I was watching Ghost Hunters. I had weird stuff going on in my house, and I went on to the TAPS website, and I submitted a request for a case,
Yeah.
and then I was contacted by the team. And to be honest, I was a little disappointed that it wasn't actually TAPS coming out.
Right.
But I was still like, whatever. I still want the team to come out.
But now on the website now, it says, if you contact us, it won't be on TV. Like, it clearly says that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
This will not be televised.
Yeah, because all they do now is the big places that
Yeah.
will.
Well, they don't do anything now. They just tour. That's all.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they're done filming, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah. Jason just does his, like, paranormal tours or whatever.
Yeah.
Grant doesn't do anything. Like, he does Comic-Cons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For board games. But that's what they do now.
So these shows, you figure they've kind of influenced the way paranormal investigators do their investigations?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. We all did it.
Yep.
Don't say you didn't, because I know you did. I know you stood there with the K2 doing this, saying, please talk into my device here so the lights go up and down, and I know you're talking to me. We still do it. Like, we still do it to this day. And, like, that was when I watched Ghost Hunters and they had that K2, and it's sitting there on the table, not knowing anything about EMF, how it affects things, like cell phones and stuff like that. And they're asking, is there somebody here with us? And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, there could be somebody over there with a walkie-talkie, like hitting their button and making the thing go off. Like, we didn't know that. But we all ask the same questions like TV people do. Yep. We all have the same gadgets like TV people do.
For years, it was very formulaic.
Yeah, it absolutely
We
was.
followed the same formula.
The team was based off of
Yeah.
that, right? Like, that's how, like, they're kind of taught you was to act that way. And I think that's where it gets a little stale and a little boring, because it's the same thing every time.
Well, then they start bringing out the SLS system and all these other things to try to, I think, gather ratings and make it more interesting.
Well, it has to look
you can
flashy.
only watch a team standing with an EMF detector for how many episodes before you're like,
And also to sell product.
exactly, yeah.
They are most likely sponsored by these companies in order to sell the product to schmucks like us.
The Ghost Adventure guys, they have the Connect system. They have the brand new spirit boxes, the brand new millimeters, because they know the guy that invents them.
Yeah.
So he just sends all their stuff to them. It goes on TV. I remember it was the Connect system. It was just starting to come out, and it sold for, I don't know, say $150, like hacked up, ready to go. It hits Ghost Adventures. It shot up to $600.
Yeah, there was another
Geo box that they use on Paranormal Lockdown. I think total insides cost like $75. Like all the insides, the case, total cost about $150. There's like $3,000.
Yeah.
Because it's been on TV. Yeah, as soon as it hits TV, it triples in price, and we all want it.
Yep.
Because it's cool and it looks good on camera.
I'll admit I looked up the SLS camera.
Sure, I
that long
did.
ago,
Like the
but-
Geo box when Paranormal Lockdown came down or started coming out. I'm like, that thing's cool. Look at that. That's neat. It's like big box thing, and it's got dials, sparkly, twisty light things. Like, oh, this thing's awesome. Looked at it, was like $750 for a basic little tiny thing, but the one they use on TV is almost $3,000. Like, that's ridiculous. But people buy it, and then TV's about ratings and money and selling the stuff. It's a business. Like, that's what it is. And like, there's groups that have started out from TV that are now businesses. Like, that's what they do. That
And not only do the TV shows promote the products, they're also promoting the locations too.
absolutely.
Yes.
Because people will pay to go there. If they
Well, I
see
know,
it on
Mike,
TV.
you've looked into a lot of the locations.
I have, and they're a lot of money.
Well, if you can get any place under $1,000, it's considered cheap,
Yeah.
and that's U.S. For us in Canada, that's almost double the price. You look at 1,000 American is about 1,600 Canadian. So it's like the place we're going in a few weeks. I have no doubt that probably by next year it'll be triple the price that we're going to pay, because once word gets out that somebody famous has been there, because I know like Paranormal State guy was there.
It was on Paranormal Lockdown as well.
Yeah. So once word gets out, then the price tag goes up. Like, that's the business.
Yeah, I don't remember what we paid to go to Moundsville because that was a few years ago now.
I think it was just under 1,000.
Yeah,
$900
a lot of money.
I think. But that's cheap. But we had to drive 10 hours to get there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, and that wasn't cheap. Like,
It's a
and then-
shame there are no places in Canada that really do anything like that, though. Like,
Well, there might be soon. You know.
Yep.
Who
Yeah.
knows? Things could
Hopefully.
happen.
things can happen, but yeah, like, you get places like the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, and then in Canada we had the St. Thomas Mental.
Oh yeah, it seems like
Torn
with
down.
Canada. Yeah, it seems like with
It's still
Canada,
sitting there.
if something like that
Still out
happens,
there.
they're that teams want to get into. They're like, no. It's
Yeah.
the government's very strict on it. And,
Yes.
yeah, let's just tear it down, and you know.
Yeah.
Whereas the States is more like, this prison's closed. Well, we'll open it up for,
Yeah.
make some money.
Make money
Yeah.
on it.
Which is surprising because the U.S. is the land of litigation. So,
Yeah.
I trip and fall on some debris, I'm going to sue
That's what
that place. But then,
Yeah, you're saying waivers.
Yeah,
Waivers, buddy. Come on. I guess we can.
Notes. What notes did you write down?
Now we're on to movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, just what we're doing. All right. Just checking.
Oh yeah, we can make the shift here to movies, paranormal movies. I don't know what are some of the. I know we got the Paranormal Activities, made it big.
The
kinda.
original Ghostbusters.
The original
Wore the
Ghostbusters.
shirt for the specific purpose to
Yes.
mention the movie.
Well, I know Ghostbusters is a big one for me. It's one of my top favorite movies. And
Yes.
I wouldn't say necessarily it made me want to get into investigating, but it definitely had an impact on the whole
Yeah.
scene, the ghost hunting scene.
I think for me, it was what kind of got me thinking that, oh my God, people actually do something like this. Like, yeah, I realize this is a comedy movie, but there are people who are paranormal psychologists and stuff. And I was a young, impressionable age at that time when it came out. I think, when did it come out? 1985.
85.
So I was 12 years old when it came out. It was perfect age to watch that.
Yeah.
For me, that movie was the one that said to me, there's people out there that do this stuff.
Right.
Which got me researching and looking into different books and looking up what other people have done.
So Nikki, you're wearing the shirt, obviously.
You're wearing a shirt.
So how did Ghostbusters affect you?
It was probably like one of the very first horror movies that I saw. I just want to classify as horror.
Hey, that librarian was pretty scary.
She was.
Scared me for a long time.
Okay, legal stuff's not working.
But like along with like Beetlejuice and everything, like I just kind of grew up on all that kind of stuff. So it just kind of made me interested in, like, didn't make me drive going, oh, I want to be a paranormal investigator, but it made me interested in that there is something possible on the other side, kind of thing like that. Frighteners.
Yeah.
Another good one. That one actually kind of guiltily.
That's
because
the
I
Michael
wanted to
J.
be friends
Fox
with
one?
them.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be friends with the ghost, and that was actually kind of a scary movie too. But yeah, they don't necessarily make me want to do it, but it just again opens up that possibility, and those were like kind of the true back in the day good old films. Whereas now, like you mentioned, like The Conjuring and Insidious and everything else, like just with so much of the special effects and everything, it's like you can't really tell what's real. And I know
Yeah.
Frighteners wasn't, but the way Frighteners was done, I'm sorry, it was still done so well that it looked real.
Yeah. Blair Witch Project was another one that we were talking about. That was one that I think I watched a lot of horror movies even as a kid. The first movie I saw was Jaws when I was 4. And then I think I saw Psycho when I was like 7.
I think I was about 8 or 9 when I shouldn't have been watching Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw Alien when I was about 7 years old too. Like I've grown up on horror movies. Blair Witch Project, because I love camping. It was one that really hit home for me. That was
Well,
like,
plus it's one of the first found footage.
it was the first found footage.
No, it was not. It was
that's
not.
true.
It was, there was many before it.
Yes.
But that one,
The first most popular.
well, it
Mainstream.
It mainstreamed it and it did the internet viral stuff before
Yes.
internet and viral actually existed.
Yes.
In 1999, the internet was just kind of coming to fruition,
Yeah.
and it was kind of the first. I think it's one of the first movies to virally market on
Well,
the
they
internet.
did they not have the actors actually like go into hiding?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They never
make it
they
actually
didn't do
legit
any.
that they were gone.
yeah,
They did
that's
no
Yeah.
TV interviews. They did nothing like
Yes.
that. Like they were dead. Like they were. Yeah. And
For like 6 months after the movie came out or
Yeah.
something like that, it was all.
Lorraine and I went and saw it. We were like day one, like because she had a computer at home, and she's like, "Look at this! Look at our 56 dial-up modem." As the screens are loading, and we're like, "What's going on? What's this?" And you're waiting for it to load up, and then it finally comes up, and we're scrolling through it. I'm like, what's this movie? Let's check this out. And so we went. I think we went either the Friday or the Saturday, like opening or the second opening night. That movie like legitimately scared me. Like it freaked me out. Like when he's standing in the corner at the end, she's screaming, and the camera's shaking, and then wow, and then it just stops, and then the whole theater just silent. Just.
You spoiled it.
Minus.
Spoiler alert.
I would hope somebody's watched it.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it by now.
A few people left through it, like because there was always the reports of nausea and the shaky cam and all that.
Yeah.
I don't think we talked for about a half hour till after we got home, and it's like, was that real? Did we? And so we get on the internet and nothing. Like it had obituaries on them, and it's like, oh my god, did we just watch? Like 3 guys get murdered? Like what did we just watch? And it was because the internet was so new. It took months before it finally came out that it was fake. And then I think when it came out on video, I watched it again, and it still freaked me out because I don't know
if it's true, but yeah, there's something like people were calling the authorities and that, being like, these people are dead.
Yeah,
and then they actually had to bring the actors back and say, yeah, we're not. It was just a movie.
Yeah.
Wow. Gosh, I
And
have to watch it again.
that one that was like the start of the power of the internet for movies, like marketing wise. Now like with The Conjuring and all that, it's more just kind of fun. Go watch a scary movie at the theater and
Your jump
Yeah.
scares.
Jump scares,
Yeah, jump
exactly.
scares
That's what they're
and
mostly now, all
whatever,
is jump
and-
scares.
Everything's jump scare these days.
yeah, like
What other, like, I guess Paranormal Activity sort of relates to, the cases that we have come. And,
I honestly have to say, with Paranormal Activity, I was bored.
yeah, it's very slow.
It's a very
So
slow.
Yeah.
I remember I watched it. Everybody's going on. That was one. There was so much hype about it, about how scary this movie was, and the guy who made it brought it to Steven Spielberg, and Steven Spielberg brought it back to him in a garbage bag, and it's the scariest movie ever. And so I watched it. I'm like, there's been scarier stuff happen on Ghost Hunters than has happened in this movie. But and then the sequels to it just got ridiculous. Just
it got terrible. Terrible.
well, I think
bad.
Paranormal Activity was kind of along the lines of the Blair Witch.
Yes, where it's the found footage.
It was the
stuff.
found footage, plus it was also virally marketed online.
Yes.
And you never saw the actors afterwards. They never did press tours. They didn't do anything like that. And it's like, okay, well, you knew it was fake, but it was like garnered a lot of internet buzz, if you want to call it that.
Well, there was that thing too where they were going on about how the original ending was so scary that they had to cut it and put in a different ending. And I watched the original ending. I'm like,
I like the other ending better.
Yeah. But even still, it was one of those. But then they did the same thing with The Exorcist too. Like my mom went to see The Exorcist when it was originally released, and she said there was ambulances out front, and gurneys, and stuff like that, and spilled popcorn all over the floor.
They used that as marketing for today. I think it was like probably with, I can't remember if it was It or something, but there seems to be these tales that come up on the internet where, this guy had a heart attack during this movie.
Yeah.
I think it's
Siberia
only
or
to fuel
something.
the buzz for the movie.
Yeah.
But with The Exorcist, my mother still tells the story that her and her girlfriend went, packed theater, like full theater, and like when the movie really got going, like when her head starts spinning and pea soup's coming out, like she's said that people were up and blessing themselves and running out of the theater. So a lot of those stories were probably true.
Probably back then.
Like she said, people
I'd believe it back
were,
then for sure.
like screaming out of the theater, her included. Like her and her girlfriend ran out of the theater and like were blessing themselves as they left because
society wasn't desensitized.
Exactly.
To it.
No.
Exactly.
they thought they were watching a real girl being possessed.
We could get a guy decapitate right in front of us and be
Exactly.
like, all right, well, whatever.
Sweet,
Yeah,
gotta
let's
do
go get
that.
coffee.
Well, and it's like Lorraine was on YouTube, like, and looking through, and like our videos started popping up, and my daughter's like, "Is that you, Daddy?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me, I guess," and clicked on the Capitol where the door swung open. And just like
That was a
so
hilarious reaction.
nonchalant, like I'm just standing there.
Door just moved.
Door just moved on me. Like it like opened in front of me, and I'm like chewing my gum and like completely oblivious to the fact that something opened a door in front of me.
Yeah.
Something I've wanted to happen for years.
And it
I
happened.
just stand there dumbfounded, and it's like the door just opened in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, it's nothing like what we've watched over the years and has so desensitized us, and like nothing, like unless something grabs my foot and drags me down a hallway, then maybe I'll be scared. Well, no, I probably would be. But
Grave Encounters.
Oh,
Oh, I was
Yeah.
gonna
that
watch that.
movie has to get the best props. Like,
Yes.
I wasn't a big fan of the second one, but that
No, the
first
second
one.
one was an
I
abomination.
watched that first one before
amazing.
any major investigation.
So going from those movies, Paranormal Activity would show these found footage, whatever, families and these things are happening around them. Grave Encounters goes into paranormal
They're
investigators.
paranormal investigators who go and investigate.
Go to investigate.
but it's
Like to
paranormal.
them, it's all entertainment.
But it's a
and fun.
paranormal TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar
Movie
to
about a
Ghost
paranormal
Hunters
TV
and-
show that like, it's
Yeah, he's filming a paranormal TV show, and like they're even setting it up there. Oh, we gotta.
paying the actor. Like,
And I know
I
for a
saw a
fact-
ghost over there.
Yeah,
Like,
that's really good.
Yeah.
I've been told that movie freaked Mike out.
A little, yeah, more than a little bit. I was watching it at my friend's house, and I actually jumped probably this far off the couch at one point in time.
I did too.
Like,
It
I
made me
legitimately
jump
jumped.
when her hair gets pulled up.
Oh, yeah,
my god,
oh,
that scared
God.
the crap out of me because it's just dead silent. There's no music playing. There's no nothing.
And then
You're like waiting for something to happen, and then her hair lifts up, and like just the reaction it was so genuine.
They
It was-
did so.
It was so good.
So
And,
well.
like, oh my god, like that, like I didn't like jump out of my chair, but it startled me. It's like, oh my god, that was awesome. Because
I won't watch it in the dark.
you
I
go
refuse.
I can't.
oh really?
because you go from Paranormal Activity that was like, is something gonna happen? It's like 90 minutes
I
of
think
nothing
that plate
happening.
just moved.
Yeah.
But then, like,
Oh,
once-
look at that! The Ouija board caught on fire.
yeah, like but Grave Encounters when her hair gets pulled up and then like she lifts up her back or her front or whether she's got the help me like scratched in her back. Like that's
And the arms come out of the wall.
yeah, that's crazy. Like it's
Spoiler alert.
If you've never seen it, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
well worth a watch.
And then we got to meet
Sean Rogerson.
Sean Rogerson at the
CK Expo.
CK Expo.
Yep.
Super
years
nice
ago.
guy.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was
He's
awesome.
a cool
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
He's
But
the
was-
main actor in that Grave Encounters.
And it was done so well with it because it wasn't Hollywood, like it just was done
No.
so minimal
Yeah.
Yeah.
that just made it so believable.
Yeah.
And it's almost kind of at the same time, you're like, God, that's what you want to happen.
Exactly.
You know, you're like, yes, these guys got to see, and it wasn't like the TV, you know, you almost forgot that
Yeah.
they were actually filming a TV show and everything, and that all this was, I can't speak enough about that, honestly. That
I know.
movie is
I'm waiting
probably
for that one investigation when we open the front door and on the other side of the front door is the lobby.
There's another door.
No.
Wait a second.
No, I can't watch that more than once in a year usually.
Yeah.
I'll
Like
pop
it's
it on
it's
every-
been over
every now
a
and
year
then.
since I've seen it.
Yeah. I
It
got
pops
my
up
kids
on
to
my
watch
Netflix.
it.
I'll hit it and I'll watch it any time of day. I don't care.
I got my kids to watch it. I was going on about how much I love this movie, and they wanted to watch it, and I'm like, all right, you asked for it.
Yep.
Wrap it.
Literally.
And they're still freaked out by it. Like,
But the problem too, though, is you find like it's harder now to find true, just fully paranormal, investigative movies.
Yes.
It's just it's always like a little smidge of it, but it ends up being this demon
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I liked about Grave Encounters too. Is that it's from the perspective of the investigators who are making a show.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not just I'm a psychic and I'm going to this house that's haunted. It's
Yeah.
like it's just a weird spin because it's more of like the
Yeah.
Ghost Adventures. Like he plays kind of the Zach Bagans, the jerky
exactly.
Yeah.
host,
Yeah.
who's like a real jerk off camera and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it just really appealed to me that way.
And the fact because there were no names, like you didn't know any of the actors or
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
and even that made it even more believable and stuff because it's
Yeah.
like these are not like it's not Brad Pitt sitting there running down the hall or
Yeah.
anything like that. So yeah, again, great movie. Sorry.
Yeah.
Are there any other
I'll take any.
recommendations I should for paranormal type
Paranormal
movies?
type movies.
It's really hard these days for me, especially like a lot of the newer
is.
ones. I just can't do.
Yeah.
I still end up going back to like movies from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. Horror movies have changed a lot in these last.
Not for the better either.
Not for the better. Although Get Out was amazing.
interesting.
I still have yet to see it. I have not seen that movie.
It's amazing. I heard A Quiet Place. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Quiet Place was alright. I didn't mind. I only liked Quiet Place because it wasn't like one of those movies where the monster or the alien is, oh, you see you run by here, it's a shadow there or
Yeah.
something. You actually see what the being looks like, and you know, that's what I liked about that because it went away from kind of the hidden in the shadows type of monsters or aliens.
Yeah.
You notice that like there's such that influx, like the Slender Man, and like we were talking about Sinister, and like all these legends and these
Yeah.
like ghosts and goblins and stuff like that are now getting their own little movies. Where before, like it just used to be like isn't the Slender Man from Conjuring? I don't want to.
Slender Man is actually a
Which is the one
story
that's from?
it's supposed to be this really skinny being that
The Slender
gets
Man
kids
was-
to like kill their friends and stuff. And
Right.
it's actually happened.
Actually,
Like, it's
okay,
real
because
life.
wasn't the Conjuring? Because then the Conjuring had like that almost like looked like Jack Skellington, for crying out loud.
Yeah, the
like the
boogeyman
last
guy.
one.
Yeah.
So it was almost kind of like that same,
It's
so
very
kind of the
similar.
same similar thing, like these
The
tall
Conjuring
like
had,
slit
Darth
thin
Maul in
guys.
it.
What's
Like
that?
that's
Insidious too.
Insidious.
Insidious
Oh,
had
is it
Darth
Darth
Insidious
Maul.
one?
That's right.
Yeah, the Darth Maul looking guy.
ripoff.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but the
That
Slender
was the
Man.
guy, that demon with the red
Red
face.
Oh,
and
so
black
look like the
face.
Horns
space
up
or
in the
the
horn.
Star Wars guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know that.
Yep, that was Insidious.
Well, the Slender Man was created in 2009 on a.
Somethingawful.com.
Just creepy
It was-
pasta.
it was an-
or
No,
Oh,
somethingawful.com.
yes, that's
It was
right.
an
Yes,
internet-
I did.
they,
Yes,
they
This
had
guy-
a.
that's right. I did read about
This
that.
guy, it was
Yeah.
a photo contest. It was like, take a photo and make it creepy. So this guy took a photo that he had and digitally inserted this black Slender Man, and that's where it started.
Yeah. So then everybody started doing that on
Yeah.
Something Awful. Like, oh my god, that's creepy. It was
Well,
a picture
there's
of kids at a playground.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just this really blurred.
And then in the
Yeah.
background there
Black.
was this thing, and then everybody's like, "Oh my god, that's cool!"
Well,
And they
there's
started doing that more.
There's a
and
whole
more.
documentary on that where these two girls led one of their friends or whatever out to like a forest, and they attempted to kill her and then when they caught them, they said, "Oh, the Slender Man told us to do it."
Yeah.
That type of thing, which is really
Well,
terrible.
then you can go. Anyway,
Yeah.
we won't touch that one. Kids do a lot of what they see on TV.
Yeah.
Hence 13
Unfortunately.
reasons why. But also too, but you know, it's like all the stories too. Like when the kids say it's always this like long, slendery man or like this shadowy thing, kind of thing like that. So. I noticed that it's just been like an influx of just like all those little sub characters now are just getting their own little movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Star Wars. Anyway, sorry.
Trying to think of any others that involve like paranormal investigation specifically. I can't really.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Sort of,
Yeah.
Kinda. They had they did their little investigation because they brought them up from the dead. They did their
Yes.
little seance and everything else.
Yeah. Beetlejuice was an amazing movie, but that was pre current generation of horror movies. and
Yes, yes,
stuff,
that's
so-
80s, yeah.
To a
Yeah.
certain degree, there was one called The Phoenix Forgotten. It was about the Phoenix Lights
Oh yeah, yeah.
UFO phenomenon. The girl was doing a documentary on her missing brother or something like that. I can't remember now. But it was kind of like an investigative story too, and it was turned out to be a found footage film.
Oh
That
yeah.
was really well done too, on a very low budget.
There's a few that I've seen. Something about what was about an apartment that was haunted or
Apartment 1402.
apartment
Yeah.
1402.
Or room
yeah.
1402. Or
1408?
1408, yes. Room
John
1402.
John Cusack, yeah.
Stephen King
was a good
short
movie.
story.
No, not that one. Oh, that was another one. I haven't seen that. No, I did see that one. That was a good one.
That
but
was a very good one.
there was another one where an investigation team came in and they were investigating. I think it was. I'm trying to remember where they brought a medium with a couple of investigators in, and she wore like this gas mask.
That was Insidious.
That was Insidious?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was like the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
No, that was Insidious. There's like the Babadook.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've been told it's good. I haven't watched it.
I watch it. It's creepy. It's not like there's no jump scares or anything in it. It's a creepy story, and it's kind of more There's another one that came out called Hereditary.
I haven't seen
Oh,
Where-
that one just came out.
Yeah,
I've
and
been
it's-
reading
I heard some
about
reviews
that.
on it.
They say it's in the same vein as the Babadook, where at the end of it, by the end of it, you start wondering, was it really a monster or was it mental health problems?
Cool. Well,
So-
if anybody believes we're missing anything, or you want to recommend any,
And we
Yeah, we'll
apologize
take
for this as well.
recommendations. Absolutely.
yeah, if you have any recommendations, make sure you hit up our YouTube.com. If you're watching on YouTube.com, place your recommendations in the comments, and we'll definitely check them out. Maybe revisit another episode on movies and things like that. Other than that, head over to facebook.com/Capture Paranormal. Look out for the polls that we'll be posting for future episodes of ParaNerd Talk. Patreon, we're on Patreon. Head over to patreon.com/Capture Paranormal. We have a couple different tiers there that you can pledge to the team to just help us out with some fees and website hosting fees and podcast fees and things like that to help pay for those. Head over to captureparanormal.com to find all our information. And other than that, we'll see you next time.